Your manipulative, you should have these three type, which is units, long, and flat. And this represent ones, 10, and 100, right? Don't have this because we cannot cut a three-dimensional thing for you. So this cube will represent what in whole numbers? 1,000. Okay, so that would be good manipulative to introduce whole number, but we also use them for decimal number. So just a very quick review. That for base 10 block, the smallest unit is ones or units. We have tens and then hundreds, thousands. One is just one unit. You can draw a very small square or a small circle. Tens will be what? Long. It needs to be like 10 times as big as your unit. So you can draw a long like that. Or you can just draw a skinny stick like this. But it needs to be very clear. This is a lot bigger than your units, right? And how about hundreds? A big flat square like this. Because it's supposed to represent of them, so it cannot be very similar. So one of the problem I have last semester is like you guys drew the flat and the units very similar size. And 1,000 would be cube. Like that. I would draw like a parallelogram first. Draw the line down to form a cube. This is 1, this is 10, this is 100, this is 1,000, right? That's for base 10 block for whole number. If I put them as exponent form, then what do we have? This is 10 to the what power here? 1,000 is 10 to the third power because 30, right? 100 is 10 to the second power because 2 zeros. And then 10 would be 10 to the first power. And the ones will be 10 to the 0. Anything with the 0 power is 1. You guys sounds not very confident with that. Okay, so anything raised to 0 power is 1. That's whole number, but now we are moving on to decimal, right? For decimal, how do we use base 10 block to represent decimal number? Those are for whole number. If we use base 10 block to represent decimal number, there is one very important thing we need to do. What is that? We need to... So for base 10 block, if we are showing decimal, we need to define the units. So if we are trying to do 1.234, then we need to let what? 1 equal to cube. We don't have a lot of choices here because we only have 4 here, right? So this is the biggest units. So if I'm showing 1.234, then I will draw what? 1 cube to represent 1 whole. And then 2 flats. That would be the 10th. And 3 long. And 4. You will have to specify what you will use to represent. So let's use this handout. So this is like an area model for your decimal. And we're going to go through this pretty quickly. First of all, we're going to have ones, tens, and hundreds using from your base 10 block. So I am going to say I can use the flat as my 1 this time, because that's all they give me. And then if this is my 1, if I use 1 flat as 1, then 1 of the long will represent what? Along with me, this is 1, this will be a long here. How many equal size pieces do we have here? That's 1/10 of this, right? So what is 1/10.1? Is that okay? 10, right? And the next one, you divide into how many equal parts? 100 equal parts. So 1 unit here will represent what? 1 over 100. Correct. So 1 over 100 is 0.01 because it's in the hundredths place, right? So this is 100, this is 10 and hundreds. So after that, I want you to use this to represent 1.56, like 1, 5, and 6. And then the second picture, I want you to shade in 0.92. So use all three of the one and shade. So let's help me with the first one and I let you do the second one. If I'm doing 1.56 for here, then I need to shade in what? The whole flat, I heard. Everybody okay? That represent one whole, right? To represent 5 tenths, I need to shade in 5 long. And to get 600, I will shade in units. So this is the area model. This represent one whole. This is 510. This is 600 units, right? Okay, do 0.92 for me. So for 0.92, what do we do? I need 9 tenths and what? 2 units. So the way it go doesn't matter. I can go this side. This is perfectly fine. Okay, so 9 of the long and 2 units for 9200 or 910 and 2 100, right? So when you're ready, I want you to flip it to the next page and see if you can do those. So on the back, we want to show 32 hundreds in 2 different ways and 210 and 20 hundreds, and then shade each one of them to what percent. So this one would be 0.32 here and 0.32 here, and then we need 2 and 0.20 here, and then the last part we need 2 to shade 0.2, 0.12, 0.19, 0.21, 0.09, and 0.9 here. And at the bottom one, they want you to shape each part before you compare which one cover the most area from the least to the greatest. This one, after you shade in the area, put them from the least to the greatest for me. So this is considered as an area model to introduce decimal number. For the top question, 3200, what should I shade in for the first picture? I need 3 and 2 units, but for the next one we will do what? 32 units because this represents 3 tenths and 2 100, right? And this one represents 32 hundredths, and they cover the same area, right? So they are equal. And the second one for point 2, we can shade in too long for this guy, and this one would be 20 units for the hundreds. And the next part we have this, right? So for point 2 we have too long or 20 units. This one would be 12 units, 19 units, 21 units. So these two would be the most confusing one for some student, right? This is just 9 units, but this is 90 units. Or if you put the same number of decimal places, this is 90 units, right? Can we see that? So if this is the case, which decimal number cover the least amount of area? And it's the smallest. 0.09, only 9 units, is less than 1200, so 12 units. And then the next one would be 19 units. This is like 20 units here. And then 21 units, 90 units. So if you have a hard time comparing them, make sure they have the same number of decimal places. That sometimes will help you to see how many units that actually is.